Hey everybody, welcome back once again. This is the third time tonight that I've posted my big ugly mug on YouTube. This is just, I guess I'm kind of on a binge before I go to work tonight. But just some stuff I wanted to share for a while, stuff that I wanted to add to the collection, and like I say, I got several stacks of stuff, for videos that I want to post. And this is just one of them. Those of you that watch my stuff know that I kind of got on a wanting to collect the DC Archive editions, especially the Legion and the All-Star Comics and the Justice League, and I kind of want to try to get all the Golden Age stuff, all the Golden Age archives that I can, because like I say, I'm not really sure if that stuff has been reprinted anywhere else or if it's going to be. But anyway, just want to show a stack of these, and I got another little surprise at the end here. Okay, first off we have Legion of Superheroes Archives Volume 3. Still in the shrink wrap. And as I said in an earlier video, yeah, these will be taken out of the shrink wrap, and I'll be doing some heavy-duty reading. I've got about 3 weeks off in January, so I'm going to have a stack, probably stacked up to here, that I'm going to try to plow through. Anyway, so I got some great reprints from Jimmy Olsen and Adventure Comics. This is just a few they were reprinted from. Haven't really researched who did the cover on this one. Pretty cool cover, kind of a happy-looking Silver Age kind of style. And Legion of Superhero Archives Volume 10. I think this went to 13 or 14, so I've still got probably 4 or 5 to try to find this run. But this is a great Dave Cockrum cover, and I think this cover was actually cobbled together from like some profile pages that were back in the Superboy and Legion title, and they all had their own little profile and their home planet and what their powers were and all that. And I think it looks like to me, if I remember right, because I know I've seen these images before, but I think they've kind of cobbled them all together to make one big group shot. So that's pretty cool. For the cover itself, that's pretty awesome. This are some of the issues that it was reprinted from. Superboy and the Legion 197 through like 200. And not sure if there's any more in this or not. And I've got copies of all this stuff, multiples, because this was one of my favorite titles as a kid. And here's actually the first issue where the Legion of Superheroes got co-billing. It went from Superboy to Superboy starring the Legion of Superheroes. And I've kind of got another little story at the end with this last little thing I want to show you. It kind of goes along with Superboy 197. But just a great package. Nice format, So like I say, I'm going to have a lot of reading to do. Okay, on to All-Star Comics. Here's Volume 10. This wasn't in the shrink wrap, which I don't care. I just want to, I want to read them. It's just a great, they reprinted them real nicely, and the colors are real vibrant. Some great stuff. Some Carmine Infantino art, Erwin Hasen, Joe Kubert in his early years. If you love the JSA and love Golden Age and Earth 2, which I'm just a fanatic, I know a lot of my YouTube buddies are, especially Dr. Silver Age, Rod. And you'll see Rod a lot on Facebook posting a lot of his books, and we need to get him back down in the vault. Dude, you need to be doing videos, because we miss you. Glad to be able to keep up with you on Facebook, but need videos. Here on the back kind of shows what books those are reprinted from. So really glad to have this one. This completes my run. I think there were 11 or 12 volumes, because it went to issue 57 before it got canceled. But yeah, this is the last one I needed for the All-Star Comics run, so really happy to have this one to collect that set. Okay, and slowly trying to get all the Justice League archives. I've got probably 4 or 5. This is one reprints Justice League 71 through 80. And you have the little floating heads deal that looks like probably Murphy Anderson, if I'm not mistaken. Everybody knows what a huge Justice League fan I am. Of course, you know, I have all these issues that they're reprinted from. This was always one of my favorite stories and covers, because really this was the first meeting of the Superman of Earth 1 and Earth 2, the Golden Age and I guess the Silver Age or Modern Age Superman. It's a great Joe Kubert cover. I think it might have been 2 or 3 issues of the JLA that he did covers on. Some other stuff, got some Neil Adams, and probably got some more. Looks like Murphy Anderson here on the cover, when Black Canary joined. And I think this issue is where the Martian Manhunter left, issue 71, if I remember my JLA history. But glad to have this one. Nice package for JLA fans. Okay, these next 3 were pretty hard to find. I've been looking for these probably for a couple of years. And either the price was too much, or you know, they're just non-existent. I mean, I don't know how rare they are. I mean, you'll see a lot of the stuff, you know, maybe had like a lower print run. It's kind of rare. Like I say, I'm trying to gather all the Golden Age stuff. This is actually one that I didn't even know existed for the longest time, you know. And then I found a wiki page where it listed all the DC Archive editions, and I thought, wow, I guess it really does exist. But this is DC Comics Rarities Archives, Volume 1. And it got some stories, you know, like some main characters, Jay Garrick, Flash, Alan Scott, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Hawkman. Has the Ghost Patrol and Sargon, and maybe I think this might be the Whip back here. But this actually reprints New York World's Fair Comics, the Big All-American book, and well, New York World's Fair Comics 39 and 40, and the Big All-American book, which I actually saw this book, the original, at a comic show a while back. It's the first time I'd ever seen it out in the wild, and I think they were probably wanting $5,000 or $6,000 for it. It was a low-grade copy, but you never see that book, and I was just kind of glad to see it. But this reprints all those stories, thus what's called Rarities. So pretty cool stuff. This is really a real thick edition, kind of thicker than the other ones, probably twice as big almost. I was really happy to find this one because I didn't even know it existed, and as I'm trying to gather a bunch of Golden Age stuff to read, this is a pretty nice find. Okay, got a couple more. This is another one that you don't see very often, and this kind of has some solo adventures of some of the JSA characters that you don't see a whole lot, like Golden Age Adam, Mr. Terrific, you know, the Golden Age Red Tornado, Ma Hunkel. And you got some solo stories for Dr. Midnight, Wildcat, Johnny Thunder. And these are some of the issues that were reprinted from Old Adventure Comics. With some very cool stuff. You know, a little simplistic for today's reading, but you know, this is it just makes me happy to read this kind of stuff. I think this is a reprint of the first Wildcat appearance, actually. So very cool. I think I might have had that in a JLA Giant or something, but another nice little find. This one you don't see too often. I'm not really sure how rare it is or was. But this is Comic Cavalcade Archives, Volume 1. And I think this reprints some issues of the original Comic Cavalcade, Green Lantern, Flash, and Wonder Woman. So, that's all that. This next one, they're not really scarce to find. I mean, you can find them at times, but they're really expensive. And if you come across a deal, a good deal on these, I mean, they're really worth seeking out for you know, Silver and Bronze Age enthusiasts. Well, when I was a kid, and I'm sure a lot of other you guys have got these when you remember buying these, but they had these DC 3-packs, and this is one that I saw on eBay, and it was for a really nice price because some of these things are outrageous. But anyway, this is Super Pack B11. And going back to the Superboy and Legion story, or issue 197, I actually bought my first copy of that in one of these 3-packs, along with Shazam and Batman 251. And those of you that follow Batman, you know, that is the famous Joker cover with Batman on the playing card by Neil Adams. It's my favorite Batman story ever. And that I actually bought that Batman issue with the Superboy and the Shazam issue in one of these. I'm not really sure what the number is. There's a website you can go to, and it lists all the Super Pack numbers and what were in them. I'll try to, anybody that's interested, I'll try to post what that website is called. But anyway, you know, you were saving a penny here. You know, 3 comics for 59 cents. Inside this one, you have a, you know, I have all these books, but the outside is kind of, you can kind of tell probably a bunch of these packages were stuck together over the years. You got a little bit of browning on it, but it's complete. You know, I don't think there's any holes in it. And on the inside, everything on the inside is, you know, a very fine and near mint, probably a 9.0 or higher. But a great cover here by Joe Kubert. This is Korak. I can find the number. Korak 55. The great Joe Kubert cover. And on the back, we have, and I just recently featured this in a video, the Shadow #2 with the awesome Kaluta cover. Great story. And I want to reiterate a really cool story to read, not just because of Mike Kaluta's art, and Denny O'Neil did some great writing on this one, but the Freak Show murders, or Freak Show killers, really awesome. Probably about my 4th or 5th copy of this, and people that want to ensure, you know, like if they're trying to CGC stuff, if you want to, you know, bust these open, I mean, all these are going to be high grade. I'm not going to do it because I don't care about CGC. Maybe later on, like say when I'm putting away for grandkids' college and stuff. But my favorite issue of the Shadow ever. Like I say, the outsides aren't, you know, all that great, but it's a really nice little collectible. I've probably got 4 or 5 of these now. I know Dr. Silverage, he collects these too, and he's got some nice ones, so check out the ones he has on his channel. Great stuff. And on the inside, we have another character and title that you might be a little bit familiar with from my videos. Some guy called Commandy, Last Boy on Earth. Number 12. Commandy number 12 in the middle. You know, already got that one, but just a great little package. Really happy to find this, and I'm not going to say how much I paid, but it was a great deal. Anyway, all right, guys. Appreciate you sticking around. Hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Probably the last one I post tonight, but I'm glad I got to do these, and I'm trying to catch up on everyone's videos, and I will be commenting on all the great stuff that I've been watching. So, guys, happy Veterans Day. Thanks once again for tuning in, and I will see you soon. Onward and upward.